let me ask Mahima Singh of the Congress, a whole array of issues including health, women's empowerment, Gati Shakti, infrastructure development, skill development, MSMEs. There was a whole gamut of issues that were discussed at the NITI Aayog. When the Congress was in power, the UPA was in power, we seldom heard chief ministers of opposition parties boycotting the Planning Commission meetings. Mr. Modi, as chief minister, had very serious differences with your government, the UPA. But I don't think Mr. Modi ever boycotted the Central Planning Commission meetings.
Jai Hind. Let me just say that it is very amusing to see the BJP use a term like Team India. And I hope when they say Team India, they do include the opposition in it, because usually what we see is the opposition for the BJP only is a means of trolling. The BJP only believes in trolling. In fact, they are very selective in their treatment of the opposition. You know, they turn, when the opposition speaks of the very critical issues, when the opposition asks about the schemes, the BJP turns a deaf ear. When the opposition says that you should get the parliament inauguration done by the president, they turn a deaf ear. When we ask the very critical Adani question in the parliament, they turn a deaf ear. But today, it's a very welcoming remark, Zaka, that you said during the Congress's time, it was seldom boycotted, because that itself speaks, for the Congress itself, how we governed, because we may have had several differences across party lines, but it was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru decades ago who made a speaker from the opposition because he respected democracy. And today, as we speak...
No, but Advocate Mahima Singh, the point that the BJP is making is what was kosher when you were in power, that doesn't seem to be kosher now. You seem to be hell-bent on boycotting anything that Mr. Modi chairs or does, because the content of that meeting or the import of that meeting is not what is important. It's the fact that Modi is doing it. That's why you're boycotting it. That's the BJP's claim.
When we were in power, the share in the funds, the schemes, the grant was 90-10 or 75-25. Today, what the BJP gives the states is a 50-50. Today, what the BJP does, it purports schemes like one nation, one registration, divesting the states of their powers. They are not giving the states their GST share. They troll the states all the time. They trample the federal structure all the time. And then they talk about Team India happily at their own convenience. Okay. And what did the BJP spokesperson just say? She's speaking as if it is at the behest of the current Prime Minister that a vision of India is being shaped. Sorry, ma'am. The vision of India was being shaped for 67 years also when you guys came in power. We were already, we handed you the country, when we stood at 8. In terms of world economy.
That's why Garibi Hatao never took place.
No. So Aparajita, Sarangi, the point that the opposition is making, forget about the NITI Aayog meeting. Today, 8 chief ministers, opposition-ruled state chief ministers do not attend. But tomorrow, you're going to have a parliament inauguration where, again, 20 opposition parties have decided to boycott it. Now, shouldn't it be the responsibility of the ruling party, the government, to walk that extra mile to ensure that everybody is brought on the same page?
Absolutely. In fact, that's the spirit we are working with. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas is our motto. Now, remember, I will please recall the day Rajpath was named as Kartavya Path and Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Pratima was put on Kartavya Path. That time also these people had cried hoarse because Honorable Prime Minister had thought about it. Now, number 2, think of the surgical strike. They had put a question mark and they were asking for some kind of documentary evidence. They had their own questions. Now again, Parliament issue, very rightly you pointed out, tomorrow is a historic day for all of us. 2020, 10th December, the Parliament Foundation, the new building Parliament's foundation was laid down by the Prime Minister, and tomorrow is the day, in record 3 years, we will be able to see a beautiful Parliament building. I think every Indian should be proud of. But all these people, I think, are suffering from a disease called cynicism. And that is why, every time any good thing done by Prime Minister Modi and the team will be opposed. They oppose because they're afraid of the popularity of Prime Minister Modi.
So let me ask Sidharth Sharma, it's not so much, the incident that's happening or the event that's happening, today's NITI Aayog meeting. tomorrow's Parliament inauguration, what your problem is, what the opposition's problem is, that Mr. Modi is front and center of all of these inaugurations and events. Therefore, the opposition has a problem with Mr. Modi, and that's why they are not willing to join these events or these meetings.
A little bit of tweak in what you've tried to put into my mouth. In fact, the Honorable BJP MP Aparajita ji has already said what BJP thinks. What the problem is, I'll tell you. And this is the problem that not I am highlighting. Just before me, the Honorable MP has twice said that the apex body of India's planning is the NITI Aayog and the Prime Minister chairs it. Being an MP, Aparajita ji should know that the apex body of India is we the people are the highest decision-making body of India, and the citizen of India presides over it. So that's precisely the problem, that India is right now being governed by constitution, which speaks about federalism. BJP is trying to push its agenda of unilateralism. This is nothing to do with any individual. This is an ideology, and a great deal of people of India, including many states who are obviously boycotting today's NITI Aayog meeting as well as tomorrow's Parliament inauguration, they are standing by the Constitution.
No, but Sidharth Sharma, you are not explaining or able to explain to the people of Delhi what have you achieved by today's boycott. What are you achieving by tomorrow's boycott?
Pray, Zaka, can you tell me what BJP has achieved? Once BJP, this is the dichotomy that the BJP, we are trying to expose for the BJP. If the BJP says through an ordinance that Delhi is not even a state, how come you are calling them for a NITI Aayog meeting which consists of states? This is the dichotomy that we are trying to highlight, that in the midnight you come up with an ordinance which says that Delhi is not a state, and in the morning you send an invite to the Chief Minister of Delhi saying that you represent a state and come and sit
Miss Sarangi, please explain. You are circumventing a 5-judge constitution bench by bringing in a midnight ordinance. Next morning you want chief ministers to attend, opposition chief ministers to attend. Is this cooperative federalism?
See, many of the states and many of the political parties running those states may be having ideological differences with the party ruling at the center, with Prime Minister Modi. We don't deny that. But I must tell you that there has to be working equation between the center and the states and the UTs. Now, Governing Council, I mentioned, I think I was not understood properly by the esteemed panelist. The Governing Council of NITI Aayog is the apex body of NITI Aayog, I said, chaired by the Prime Minister. And I must emphasize the fact that we, the ruling party at the center, want everybody to be partners in progress. And for that matter, all the centers and all the states, the center and all the states and UTs have to work together, join hands, and prepare the developmental narrative for the country together.
Okay.
And that